in the first exercise, you're going to add up numbers from 1 to 5 and print out the result. So can you do that with these two options, while loop by using while loop and for loop? Do you remember the algorithm that we wrote for finding the maximum number in a list? Now let's try to do the same thing. We're going to find the sum of numbers from 1 till 5, right? So how will you do that? How will you describe it? How to do it to a different person? Again, just let's start like read the first number, right? Let's go back to the basics. And let's call this step 1. Read the next number in the list. Step 2. Add number 2 to 1. Go to step 2. So I'm going to read the first number 1, second number is 2. I'm going to add 2 to 1, 3, and then read the next number 3. Now I'm going to continue, add 3 to 1. Nope, this is not working. So read the first number and keep it as your sum. Read the next number, add number 2 to current sum. Okay, go to step 2. Let's try this one. Read the first number, 1, and keep it as your sum. So my sum is now 1. Read the next number in the list, 2. Add number 2 to current sum. 2 to current sum is 1, so it will be 3. So my sum is now 3. Go to step 2. Read the next number, 3. Add numbers in step 2 to current sum. My current sum is 3. I'm adding 2, so it's 5. Go to step 2. So I'm going to read number 4. My current sum is 5. I'm going to add 4 to 5. So it goes like this, right? This is the human language. This is the recipe. Now, can you convert this to Python program? That is the question. Now let me go to Trinket actually. And let's do that. I cannot see. Now, I'm in the Trinket. And what did we say for the algorithm? I'm going to make a list, first of all. How do I do the list? Can I use the range function? Yes, I can use the range function. So for I in range 0 to 5, should I type 5? Because it doesn't include the last number, right? But I want 5 in my list. So let's do this. Column. Now it will expect a block, these 3 dots. Okay. Now, what did we say? We're gonna add sum. So sum plus these numbers to the current sum, right? And at the end, I will print that. But let's see what will be the issue of this program. What does it say? Unsupported operand, blah, blah, function and integer at unknown. We don't understand what the error is, right? Function and integer on, because we are using first of all an implicit Python. Let's do it again. For I in range 0 to 6, sorry, sum I is equal to sum I'm gonna get still an error, but I want a specific type of error, so let's see. Okay, now what does it complain about? Sum I is not defined. So here I'm evaluating the right hand side first, right? But in the first iteration, in the very first step, there is no variable called sum I. So what I need to do is I need to initialize that somehow. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. Sum I is equal to 0. Now I'm gonna type the same loop for I in range 0 to 6. And let's go down a little. I'm gonna say sum I is equal to sum I plus I. By the way, how can I type this also? Like, let's put a comment so it doesn't see that the rest of the line. This is equivalent to saying sum I is equal to plus equal I, right? We saw this shorthand notation. These two statements are equal. So I'm adding these numbers, and at each step it is going to from 0 till 5 and adding those numbers. You can start from 1 also, since 0 doesn't count. Okay, now I'm gonna use print function to print sum I. Sorry, sum I is typed like this. Okay, 15. So in the lab session, you will write this same piece of code mainly. And again, I made two mistakes. One of them was using the built-in Python name in the first version. In the second version, I got a name error because I didn't have sum I at the first step. Now, what is a prime number? We told that a number that is only divisible by itself and 1, for example, 7. Or to put it another way, every number other than itself and 1 gives a remainder. For example, for 7, we're going to check 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. They all give remainder. Then 7 is a prime number. If the number is 9, we know that 8, 7, 6, 5, and 4 all give remainders. But when we come to 3, it is divisible by 3, so it won't give any remainders, the modulo function actually. It goes evenly to 9, so we can say 9 is not a prime number. So if you want to generalize this, if the number is a, as long as all a minus 1, a minus 2, till we go to 2, give a remainder, then a is a prime number. Okay, so the condition is all of these divisions will give a remainder, then a will be a prime number. Now here we have a pseudocode. Now I will go to the trinket and open that over there. What we want here is one-to-one translation. So you're gonna convert this, think it like Google Translate from English, instead of from English to Turkish, now you're gonna convert this from human language to Python, okay? So this is the recipe. Now I'm going to share trinket. Okay, here is the prime number code. We are reading a number, then we are doing all these operations. Here we give you the solution actually. What we want is just convert this to Python. So what I'm writing is, the first sentence is read A from the console. So how will I do that? I'm gonna put an integer because everything that we read from the console is string, so we need to convert that to number. And how do we read number from console? Input function, right? Input. And again, let's say, please enter a number. Whatever we write here, it will be printed to the screen. Now I'm just writing inside a file instead of directly writing to the console. I'm gonna save it and run it later. Then I'm going to the next line, is prime is true. So we're gonna say is whatever variable name you want to use, true. So from the beginning, we are assuming all the numbers are prime till the otherwise is proven, okay? Then in the next line, it is b equals a, whatever the variable names, a minus 1. So now I'm coming to this line, while b is not equal to 1. That is the question here. How will I translate that to Python? while B, how do I convert this, is not equal to. So that is up to you. The rest is up to you now. But it is one-to-one translation. And for instance, in the next line, does A divide by B with no remainder? How will I convert that? You can see it's a modulo function, right? A modulo B maybe, whether that is equal to 0 or not. So you, in the lab session, you will convert this code. You will translate this pseudocode to Python. That is our last example. So